Hey, here are 5 stupid things I've noticed about St. Patrick's Day. It's an excuse to get drunk. Now, I can hear some of you already saying things like, "But Steve, that's not a stupid thing about St. Patrick's Day, that's the best thing about St. Patrick's Day." To which I reply, fuck you. I have to do one of these a week. How dare you sabotage me on this? Can you not just go with me on a premise? For 5 minutes? Have I not earned at least that much from you after doing this for 4 years of my life? I might also suggest that there are plenty of occasions for us to get drunk in our lives already. Special occasions like birthdays, sporting events, or not being at work. And I might add that as long as we are adults, exercising good judgment and in control of our faculties and our choices, that we shouldn't need an excuse to get drunk. And in fact, the compulsion to have an excuse for getting drunk might point to a more serious, deeper problem. Unless, of course, the reason you are getting drunk on St. Patrick's Day is that it's the only way you can fucking stand St. Patrick's Day, because there's a lot of other stupid shit going on during this holiday. Like, everything's green. I love a Shamrock Shake as much as the next guy, but can we please give it a rest with the greening of everything in sight, especially the beer? Christ, in Chicago, they even dye the river green. This seems especially pointless to me since I've lived my entire life in Western Maryland and our rivers are naturally green. Everyone's Irish. On St. Patrick's Day, everyone who isn't Irish temporarily adopts that identity and then proceeds to drink to excess and act like a boisterous, easily provoked, oversexed ruffian. You know, like Irish people. I know that's the stereotype, but in my experience, that description is far more fitting of a typical American. It's like we Americans are just acting out our most obnoxious impulses and then blaming it on the Irish. We're making the Irish worse by pretending they're more like us. And it doesn't end with our boorish attempts to act Irish. It extends to things like homophobic parades. Last year, the mayors of Boston and New York sat out their city's St. Patrick's Day parades because gay groups had been banned from openly marching. Guinness also pulled its sponsorship of the New York City parade due to the exclusion of gay groups. This year, even though both the New York and Boston parades have agreed to allow certain gay groups to march, a coalition of Irish LGBT activists is nonetheless organizing a boycott of the New York parade over what it says is a continued policy of exclusion toward gays. And New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio is considering skipping this year's parade also because he's afraid it won't be sufficiently inclusive. Meanwhile, in Ireland, gays march openly in Dublin's St. Patrick's Day parade, and it's not that big of a deal. One last thing, also not that big of a deal, but something about St. Patrick's Day that bugs me nonetheless. Demanding kisses based on symbolic ethnicity. Kiss me, I'm Irish. What's that about? First, odds are good that you're not actually Irish, but an American drunkard pretending to be. Second, what does your Irishness, legitimate or assumed, have to do with whether somebody should kiss you? Nobody ever says, "Kiss me, I'm Armenian." What about those of us who aren't Irish and are uncomfortable appropriating that identity? Am I to be denied kisses simply because I lack significant Irish ancestry? It just so happens that I am primarily of Scottish and German extraction with some French thrown in there somewhere. Should I not get credit for that? There's a kiss named after French people. Do you know what an Irish kiss is? It's when somebody farts on you. Urban Dictionary, that shit. I'm telling you the truth. Kiss me, I'm Irish. I do need a drink, actually. The hardest part is only picking 5. Catch you next time.